Oh, and our domination of the Stadium Network continues every single Thursday, except for next week, which is Christmas. We are here live at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I got to tell you, you guys are finding us. You're loving what we're doing because we keep it honest. We keep it real. We say good things are good. We say bad things are bad. So we got a lot to talk about in the world of wrestling. And I mean a lot, but I can't do it by myself. I'm the coach side of things. The bro side, oh, this man, he's becoming even more famous. He's getting more heat. He's all over the place. I'm seeing clips, not by you, but by everybody else. My guy from russosbrand.com, Vince Russo.
Yes,
Good morning,
Coach. And getting ready to hit the road tomorrow. Going to be on the road for a JCW Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then get home and get ready for the big Christmas celebration.
Did you ever imagine 6 months ago that you'd be traveling again for wrestling shows?
Absolutely not. Not in a million years. Absolutely not. And not only that, traveling for wrestling shows and actually having fun when I get there.
Wow, that's a novel concept. That's a novel concept.
Yes, it is.
In 30 minutes, we're going to be playing a video that I don't know how many people saw yet. I know the numbers for your shows have been skyrocketing. So I think a lot of people have seen it. But Vince taking a straight arrow at somebody. You'll want to stay tuned for that. By the way, Vince, it's been also very interesting that at JCW, all the juggalos, that the mainstream wrestling shows have been picking up your stuff as well. Has that surprised you?
Yeah, it really has. But, it's interesting, Coach, because I don't think this is on the docket for today.
Oh,
but real interesting, Michael Cole's comment about, professional wrestling just defeated sports entertainment, which has to be, Coach, if that's not a direct Triple H shot at Vince McMahon, I don't know what is.
Well, that's exactly where I wanted to start today, because that's been, as we've had the fallout from Saturday night's main event, and there's been people on both sides of the docket that feel like the crowds can sometimes go home happy. And then all of a sudden, the WWE decides this is the time that we're going to start to build a heel. Don't worry about the other times you had during the year, but this is going to be the time because it's poetic. But when Michael Cole said that line, I was like, wait a second. TKO is the one that's been beating us over the head that this is a show, that this is supposed to be entertainment, that it's not about paying it for, it's about the here and the now. So you've got people that are selling it, but down below, they're not following it. Is that the correct way to say it?
Yeah, and Coach, here's what's really interesting. I just got off my show with the great Al Snow.
Yes.
And what Al was talking about was the fact that part of the reason Vince McMahon made the change from professional wrestling to sports entertainment was so the government couldn't hit him with having a monopoly. Because, the WWF was the only game in town, and that's why he said it's sports entertainment. Because now if he's sports entertainment, he's competing with the NBA, the NFL, Disney. So that's why Vince said it. So when you look at business purposes, I don't know why Michael Cole will say that, because now you've opened up that door all over again. But, Coach, if I'm a businessman, do I want to be the niche piece of pie pro wrestling, or do I want to be the wider scope sports entertainment? From a business point of view, why would you say that?
To me, it was a little mind-blowing. And I know those that want to defend. And Michael's my guy. We traveled together 3 years. I learned from him. I was the second guy behind him. But he's going to do what he's told to do. He's been there, 30 years. He's not going to step out. And I respect that. Respect that. But when you're in the realm where entertainment is king,
right?
I don't know that you'd want to go backwards, because when I watch Gunther, and there's been millions of fans, and they all come here or Sirius, and Vince, people are not – the only people I see, they're like, man, yeah, Gunther's the guy, are the old school wrestling guys that feel like that's what they need to say, in my opinion, because he's not entertaining. He's not. His style is not entertaining. He's not. And I don't know why we can't be honest about that. because that does feel like old school grainy TV, Channel 67 UHF wrestling from the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah, and that's why, Coach, that's why you and I, that's why we kind of come to the conclusions we come to, because other than Triple H taking a shot at his father-in-law, my guy just beat your guy. You made it sports entertainment. Outside of that, again, you and I look at things logically. Why would you say that outside of that? Give me a good reason from a business point of view.
I think Triple H just called you. You could take it on line one. You could take Hunter on line one.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Coach?
Sure.
That's why we say the things we do, because Coach and I, we're in business. So we're saying, how do you go from here to here? And why would you do that?
The other part of this, it's been really, really funny, Vince, is all of the fans that have come after me or anybody that had the thoughts like I do, because they act like we've got this running storyline that this played into it to create this gigantic heel in Gunther. Right. And they needed to do the finish that way. These are the same people that Gunther pointed out when he was on TMZ yesterday on Inside the Ring. He pointed out, wait a second, do these fans forget that 10 years ago, they hated John Cena? Every time they came out, he shoved down our throat. It's too much John Cena. And now it's poetic. It's the way it should have ended. And all of that. Gunther said that, not me. And when you think of it like that, I'm like, how are these same fans saying that's the way wrestling's done? I mean, that's you're following the edict. And I'm like, there's been a lot of veterans that have debunked that as well, like Jeff Jarrett and other people.
Yeah, and Jeff Jarrett is as freaking traditional as you get.
As it gets.
Coach, what was the show that Gunther was on again?
TMZ Inside the Ring.
Now, did Gunther give the good people at Inside the Ring a sledgehammer? Did he give them as a Christmas offering? Did he give them a sledgehammer? Or they didn't get the sledgehammer.
You are a savage. No.
But it's interesting that you said that, all seriousness, because when you talk about the time and honor tradition, bro, there is nobody more time and honor than Double J. I mean, going all the way back to his grandmother. So when Double J makes a statement like that, I mean, you got to pay attention.
You got to. He is Vince Russo. I am the coach. This is Coach and Bro Show live here on Stadium every single Thursday, except for next week. It's Christmas. It's funny because the other part of this is that Seth Rollins was on a podcast, and it seems like every time that the internet wants to come after our opinion, which normally eventually proves to be right, he was on a podcast yesterday. He said it's very, very difficult in this day and age for a heel to be a true dirty heel because they've taken the curtain back. They've showed everybody how the bread is made. And so now fans realize, this guy's just playing a character. This guy's not really nasty, which in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, you believed that they were doing that 24/7. So Seth Rollins is saying what we say, that stop giving away the business, because now we're going to end up being right, Vince, because this whole Gunther is a dirty dog heel. They'll forget about it in a week or two, and there will be no payoff of this. And that's been my stance all along.
And Coach, it's just so funny that's coming from Seth Rollins, because what did we say? They turn him heel and he comes out conducting the audience to Seth. Come on. You know what it means, Coach? Here's what it means. They got to work harder. Okay, yes, it's much more difficult to be a heel. Nobody's arguing that, but you've got to work harder. And for him to say that, and then we see him conducting the orchestra when he's a heel? Come on, man.
Yeah, in the same interview, by the way. And I guess he's bored, and I appreciate anybody that wants to have a career outside of the WWE while they're still in it. It's more money, it's more exposure, and you have something to do when you're done with wrestling. A lot of guys, Vince, they don't have that. So Seth has been doing a lot of shows with his wife, Becky. On that same show, she goes, I never would have tapped. Now, that could have been her character saying that, but these are when they're in their real moments
Yeah.
that they're not the character. And Seth talked about, I can't come out here and be that heel character that you see on TV because that wouldn't be real. So when they're openly talking like this, to me, it hurts the business a little bit, but at the same time, he's not out of bounds because this is the standard that they have set, which is, I think, why a lot of people are now backtracking and saying, wait a second, I don't want to know everything. Because if I know everything, then it takes the joy away from me. And that to me is wrestling 101, which is why Saturday I was so adamant that the track record for WWE is they won't pay it off with
Yeah.
a dirty dog heel. So why would it be so bad for the fans to go home one night out of 365 happy? Why can we not do that in wrestling these days? Nobody ever goes home happy.
Yeah. You know, Coach, I think people have lost sight of we're still in control of the wrestling business. We can do whatever we want. We can be whoever we want. Now again, because of social media, is that more difficult? Yes, it is, but it still can be done. I'm telling you this because I'm in the middle of it right now. I know what I'm going to say and do to make people hate me, and I know what I'm going to say and do if I want them to like me. We're still in control of it. The problem is we choose not to be.
So I'm glad you brought that up because that's where I want to hit next is for you. And it's so cool that you're in this new role as the investor, as the head of creative, everything. And you're really starting to feel it. I see it on social media, the reactions to your JCW shows. And when you're writing them, how much time do you spend on your heel character, the other heel characters, and how can we still make the crowd happy?
You make the crowd happy by really defining your characters and making them three-dimensional and giving them emotions and giving them feelings. And then when you're writing, you put yourself in the boots of that character and you stay true to the character. Like, I'm just going to throw a perfect example off the top of my head. Rhea Ripley. You got Big Bad Mammy. You got the look. You got the big foot stomp on the way out. And then you've got a hugging and kissing Io Sky. So what are you? Are you this goth mommy that kills everybody? Or do you go out with the girlfriends after work and what is it? So that's the confusing part. You gotta pick a lane, man, and stay in that lane. You can't be everything.
And that's so it's so fascinating that you say that because I think that a lot of the newer talent, they know what it used to be and what it used to be. And last night, it's weird how the algorithms work on Instagram and Twitter. I retweeted it this morning. This video came through. And it said, "I'll never get over the 2000s, like 2000 to
I saw that.
2010."
I saw that.
You see it,
I saw it.
right?
Yes. Yes.
And what did you see in that video? You saw guys that lived their character 24/7.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, whether he was a heel or a babyface, he was Stone Cold Steve Austin 24/7. If you saw him in a bar, he was drinking a beer. That's who he was.
Absolutely.
And that's been lost. You don't have to be an actor walking through the airport, but carry yourself in a way that when fans see you and you're Rhea Ripley, you're walking like a star. You're looking like a star. You're carrying yourself shoulders back, chest out, and you understand you're better in a humble way than everybody else.
And I want to tell you a real quick example because
I got
on the other side. Let me tell you though. Let me tell you.
Okay. On the other side,
Yes.
still to come. Just getting started here on Coach and Bro. Start time at the Royal Rumble. Interesting. A botch on NXT. What does it mean? Also, Tony Khan telling the crowd to get back in their seats. I'm serious. We're going to show you the video. That's still to come. We're live on Stadium, and damn it, do we love being here every single week. He is Vince Russo. I am the coach, the whole team. It's glorious. 1 week away from Christmas. Come on back because we got plenty more to come right here on Coach and Bro. All right, you degenerates. We continue to watch on our YouTube page. We got a few super stickers already. If you have any, Don't worry, we'll get to all of them. Also, the Wheel of Doom after the top of the hour. But Vince, let's hit a quick one. Guillermo Magoteres, I butchered that, but you are on the Wheel of Doom. If they knew they had a year, they could have built a 1-year streak for Gunther and make it streak versus legacy. At least some streaks would have made it more credible. Your thoughts?
And he had a streak. Gunther had a streak. That's what people forget. And Sami Zayn broke the streak. They had it. They were there. Can you imagine if that streak would have never ended?
Oh my God.
Now you got something.
Now you got something. But, and we joke a lot, but this is why we've been saying to all the fans, are like, you gotta build. Sami Zayn beat him. If they were so adamant, and that was this year. It wasn't like it was 2 years ago, Vince.
Yep.
So all these fans that are roaring about building Gunther, they haven't built Gunther.
Yep. And not only that, Jey Uso too. Let's not forget Jey Uso. Both of them beat Gunther.
Oh my gosh. I just thought about that. Yeah. I just thought about that. And I think that's the biggest reason, Vince, that we have an issue with all of these in the now fans who bitch about it in the now.
Yes.
But they don't. All right, we have time for one more. Papa Rain, they know Thursdays is the Wheel of Doom. I know it. You guys are amazing. I was wondering if you guys caught that Cena told Joe Rogan on his podcast that he should invite Triple H if he wants answers above his pay grade about his bookings. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yes. I think there's going to be little things out there, but I don't think that Cena is ever going to say anything as long as he's an ambassador for the team, right? Don't you think so?
Absolutely.
All right. My daughter's asking me if I need anything from Starbucks. How has the world changed, Vince? By the way, my darling Kayana, yesterday I'm live on the show. And I find out that she has gotten into the college of her choice, the program of her choice.
Oh, man.
Music theater.
Oh, that's great. God bless you. God bless you.
I was in tears.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Awesome.
All right. We're back live in just 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It's the Coach and Bro Show here live on the Stadium Network. We're here every single Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. A really good discussion going right now. Vince, right before the break, you teased a little story. What is that?
Very interesting story, guys, and it concerns Stone Cold Steve Austin. And this is the problem, man. When you don't have a character, now the announcers can't get you over as a character. Real quick story, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stephanie McMahon was kidnapped by the Undertaker, and they put her out on the symbol.
That's right.
And I'm talking to Steve, and I'm like, Steve, you've got to save Stephanie. And Steve, of course, Vince, why would I ever do that? I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. Keep in mind, at the time, he hated Vince McMahon, hated his guts. And I said to him, because Steve, this innocent young girl has done nothing to you. Yes, her father is a prick. She's done nothing. And Steve, if you don't save her, you're a dick. And here's the beautiful part of this. Lawler and Jim Ross told the story. They told you why Austin was saving her. So now all of a sudden you're seeing that side of Steve. That's how you create characters. If you don't have a character, how are the announcers going to help build your character?
And that's what you do all day long is you work with the different talent that are around ringside going over their matches. And they would routinely, when I was calling matches, they would come over, tell us what they were going to do. Because there's even stuff within the match that helps with character development as well.
Yes.
And if you're talking about the great stars and heels of all time in TV, they all have layers.
Yep.
They're not just a badass all the time. They're not just an asshole all the time. They have layers, and that's a great story. I don't know if you saw this on Tuesday, Vince, but the last time we saw a botch, it was also with the women on SmackDown. It was Tiffany and Nia Jax. We remember that. On Tuesday, it was a botch that I think could really teach Shawn Michaels and NXT a lesson. Thea Hale. She's a young performer. She's taking on Blake Monroe, who I think is going to be a gigantic star. She looks like $1 million, and they just put the North American Championship on her. like a couple of weeks ago. And so they do this move, Vince, where she bounces off the second rope and goes backwards and lands on Blake on her back. And she's supposed to kick out, clearly. The referee, 1, 2, and then he waits, and he's like, she's not kicking out, 3. And everybody's kind of stunned, looking around. Blake, I think she got concussed very, very quickly, is what I think. But at the end of the day, I don't think that young Miss Hale was supposed to go over. But the crowd went bananas, Vince. If you're booking the show, instead of getting pissed off that it wasn't the right finish, can you use that reaction to now write some better stories for this young lady moving forward?
1000%, Coach, because before people knew who I was, I would go out in the crowd and listen to the reactions. And a lot of time the crowd tells you, they tell you when it's time to turn rock babyface. You know, they tell you. That is such an important tool. Absolutely, positively. If I'm listening to that, there's going to be a little change in direction. Absolutely, Coach.
It's funny you say that, because later in the show, they had a pre-tape where Blake Monroe went up and demanded and apparently received an immediate rematch next week on NXT. My gut tells me that in the moment they decided, we're just going to go back to our original plan, put it right back on her next Tuesday, because they have a pay-per-view, or whatever they call them now, PLEs, coming up right before the first of the year. So it's about a 10-day build, but my guess is that part of that build was Blake Monroe.
Yeah.
Would that be accurate?
Absolutely. And Coach, I do want to say this, because I will never forget this. I remember during the Attitude Era when Sable was just another pretty face. And there was one Monday Night Raw where she came out, and it was one of those big inflatable Coors cheers where you put the beer. Bro, she got the second biggest pop of the night behind Austin. And I was in the crowd, and that told me right then and there, here we go. Absolutely.
Rocket ship.
Absolutely.
Rocket ship.
Why would you ignore that?
And I think that's where, and I hope that they watch and listen to the show. And they have proven they do, because we have one of the more popular wrestling shows in America. But they also listen, Vince, because they know deep down we know what we're talking about, because we've been in the rooms with them. And I think that for whatever reason, it's gotten lost in listening to the crowd. They did it with Jey Uso, but now they're like, well, let's put him back in the tag team for whatever the reason is. And it's almost as if they want to go opposite of what the crowd is doing, instead of saying, well, if the crowd's doing it here, because we do this with European crowds, because they all want to do what they do, right? Vince, if viewership is dropping off, why wouldn't you want to do something where when you're watching, the crowd says, man, the crowd really enjoys that. So do I. I need to watch every single week as a casual.
Coach, think about this. We see the crowds every single week. Then they show us that creative boardroom in Unreal. Could there be any more of a disconnect? When I tell you Vince McMahon would sit across from me in his living room in sweatpants, hair not combed, lifting his leg to let one loose. Yeah, bro, we're relating to the people. That's the people. That was our audience. Look at the audience. Look at that boardroom. That right there will tell you a lot. Major disconnect.
No doubt about it. And it's funny that you say disconnect, because that leads right to our next topic. And right now, I'm going to give ESPN all the flowers in the world. They have done everything on their side of the fence to make this initial partnership work. However, I wonder how happy they are today, Vince, because the Royal Rumble coming up in January will be the first PLE outside of North America, in Saudi Arabia. And there's been a lot, whether it's the PFL with me, UFC, or even WWE. Start times matter. And ESPN is trying to add, they're brand new, 2 p.m. Eastern on a Saturday will be the Royal Rumble here in the States. 11 a.m. Pacific, noon in the Mountain Time Zone where you live. Vince, why in the world would they put a show at 2 p.m. on a Saturday when it's your first big one of the year?
Well, Coach, I got to ask you this because you had a great career at ESPN. What do they do? When they look at this, what can they possibly do to make the best situation out of this?
Well, you got to promote the hell out of it. You just have to, which they've done on every single show. It's right in the middle of football playoffs.
I was just going to ask. I was going to ask you about the football playoffs because it's around that time.
1,000%. Now, I have not looked. This might be no, it's not even the off week because as you look at the calendar, the Super Bowl's not in. So basically, the last Sunday is the 4th. So that'd be wild card. So essentially, it's championship weekend. So the games are on Sunday. They wouldn't have anything on Saturday. So that's not an issue. But there's still a ton of sports. And on top of that, Vince, people just don't watch a lot of stuff on Saturdays.
Yeah.
That historically, that's, I got crushed two years ago when they were starting. I think it was Collision or one of those. And I said, this will never work. And the viewership is putrid. Absolutely putrid on a Saturday. Why? Because I did 3 shows that failed miserably on a Saturday, Vince. I don't even know why they changed PLEs over to Saturday years ago. Do you?
No, and then what you're going to get, guys, here's what you're going to get. We talked about ESPN needing 100,000, viewers just for the WWE. Here's what you're going to get. The same people are going to watch it that always watch it. You're not going to bring in that new audience or those eyeballs at that time of day on a Saturday.
It's crazy. And quickly, because we're going to have a super sticker coming up. Speaking of the new era, Triple H this past week, we got 2 minutes left. We talked about a new era. And he did that 2 weeks ago too, Vince, where he said, hey, it's going to be an epic night. When you use words like that, there's got to be 2 or 3 things that I can hang my hat on to say, man, this is a new era. They had the mystery man, which was Austin Theory. And we knew it was Austin Theory for 3 weeks. And they decided not to change it. Good for Austin Theory. But when you use those words, what does the audience expect? Because you're running a wrestling promotion as well.
Again, Coach, it's the disconnect. Is it a big deal to Triple H? I know me at JCW, I'm not doing that unless it's the second coming. Unless I know it's huge. So you got to ask the question, does Triple H really believe these things he's hyping are that big? I don't know.
I think we talk about the wrestling bubble all the time. And I think that he's been in the wrestling bubble for so long that I think he believes that if he says something that we just take it as fact or we take it as, yep. And I think he's lost track of or doesn't look at social media or looks at how people react to him. And when you laugh at getting bigger boos than Gunther got on Saturday night, to me, that's an issue. If you think it's funny that you get up on the apron when it's supposed to be Cena's spot to point to a video, you couldn't have pointed to the video from the floor. I think we've kind of crossed that line now with him.
I'm with you. And Coach, those are the things you have to learn from. If you don't learn from them, man, you're just going to dig deeper and deeper and deeper in a hole.
Well, you know what he's doing right now. Well, Coach is an idiot. Vince is an idiot. The fans are idiots. They're not allowed to have an opinion. We give them their opinion.
Yeah, they weren't booing Coach and Bro out of the building. I can tell you that much.
No, they were not. No, they were not. All right, we're only halfway home. Plenty more to come on the other side. AEW, interesting. They bring a major star back last night overseas, and an interesting start time and a more interesting video that we're going to play for you from Tony Khan. Sometimes he's just the gift that keeps on giving. All that coming up on the other side. This is the Coach and Bro Show, live every Thursday right here on the Stadium Network. Come on back after the bottom of the hour. All right, we got a ton of super stickers to get to, Vince. Damian Gilchrist, right along the lines. And remember, those we don't get to, we'll do at the top of the hour. How many new eras will there be under the King of Pops? It's as if he comes up with a new monthly. What will it take for him to be held accountable for everything? It's a big question, Vince.
That's a great question. I don't have the answer to that, Damian. I don't. I really don't have the answer to that.
It's going to be fascinating to see. And I don't know if TKO is even concerned with that right now, because we believe as a show, you and I, that they never wanted to own this, and ultimately they'll sell to Saudi Arabia within the next 2 years. So if that's their focus in getting that $15 to $20 billion sale, why would they care about Triple H right now?
Yeah.
That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah. And that makes all the sense in the world. Yes. Yep.
But you wonder if he feels that, because, Vince, we've done it where you feel like it's bigger than it is, or sometimes you don't feel like it's big enough. And I wonder if Triple H if it even registers right now.
I think that response at the Saturday Night Main Event may have been a little bit of a wake up call.
I hope so, because we want the shows to be good. We do. We do the show. Got to have content.
Yep.
Let's go to Robert Rose, 5635. He said they took LA Knight off TV so fans won't expect him in the Royal Rumble to avoid a hijacking from the fans if he's in the Rumble and doesn't win. It's interesting, Vince, what they do by benching these players. Damian Priest just was on a podcast. I don't know if you saw this, where he said that they have benched him to save his body, to save how sore he is. And I'm like, isn't that what wrestling is?
Yeah, let's translate that for the good people watching at home. Creative does not have a clue what to do with them. And that's why, guys, Damian Priest and LA Knight should not be sent home. Creative should be sent home. That's the issue, man.
Two of my favorites. Two of my absolute favorites. I love Damian Priest. I love who we're just talking about? Oh, LA Knight. See, I forget about him too, just like Creative does. Interesting. A lot more to get to. We are back live on the Stadium Network, Prime Video, DirecTV, YouTube TV. 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are just past the bottom of the hour. If you're watching us live in the East, it is 11:32. In the West, it is 8:32. You guys are just getting your day started. Thank you for starting it with us. If you're watching us on demand, we love all of you as well. Now, Vince, we've been talking about heels. We've been talking about character development. We've been talking about viewership with the WWE. But AEW, very interesting the last couple of days for them. They decided, and I'm sure, Vince, the talent was ecstatic to see the schedule and go, oh, we're going to Europe a week before Christmas. It's an awesome trip that we want to make. And we're also going to run a 3-hour Dynamite and Collision, which starts at 8 p.m. Eastern in the States. We're going to start it at 6 p.m. Eastern in the States, 3 p.m. Pacific, in an era with social media. Vince, that's an 11 p.m. local start time in Manchester, England. Let's start there. It wasn't even it wasn't even live. They were still going when they started it. It's a mess. It's a mess. Yeah. 11 o'clock. Can you imagine the fans when they got their tickets? Can you imagine?
This is not the first time Tony Khan has had issues with time zones. Like it seems like this is literally about the 4th or 5th time that he's getting all these time zones screwed up, man.
It's crazy. By the way, my beautiful daughter, I told you about. Yes. I just told him about your college yesterday.
Awesome.
Yeah, very, very cool. Vince says congratulations.
Awesome.
She says, hi, Vince. Look what she just brought me. Free pub.
Yeah, Starbucks, look at that.
Starbucks,
very nice.
Starbucks. It's a great daughter right there.
A little bit of a mamby-pamby bag, though, with the bow and all that stuff. But anyway.
Is it? Well, maybe there's a second one, too. I don't know. Interesting. Thank you, sweetheart. Love you. Now, it gets better, Vince. And I always feel like we have to say, we love Tony Khan.
Oh,
Tony Khan,
absolutely.
We love you.
I honestly, if you took Tony Khan out of the wrestling business right now, I'm telling you, man, we would be losing so much content. That's a shoot.
And as a shoot, he went out in front of the crowd last night. And I want you to think, as you listen to this sound, ladies and gentlemen, watching from home, would Vince McMahon ever do this?
In that lovely, direct English way that you guys have of bluntly talking to people, why don't you tell the club holders to get down here on my behalf? Get your drink and get down here. Let's go.
Tony, we're seeing on our cameras, people are running back to their seats.
I think it's starting to fill back in. That's good. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I did a show in Manchester. It's going to be my first. I have a really good feeling about it. Let's stay in touch, and I come back out at the end. And if this goes well, you're going to be getting a lot of AEW events.
All right.
So what did I miss? What was he trying to do?
Okay, so remember, 11 o'clock start time. 11 o'clock start time. There were people out getting drinks and snacks, and he didn't want the show to start with empty seats showing up. So he went out and he asked the crowd to get back in their seats.
Yeah.
And then Renee goes, I think we see people, which clearly we saw no one, running back to their seats to start the show. Because remember, it was taped at 6 p.m. Eastern. So they had to do it in real time because it started at 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS and HBO Max. Can you imagine Vince going out and going, excuse me, everybody. Excuse me. Could you speed up the beer buying so you can be in your seats so we can start our show? Can you imagine that?
To once again quote the great Road Dogg. Bless his heart, Coach. Bless his heart.
I thought sure he was just going to walk out and we were going to hear him say, are you enjoying the show?
Yeah.
Enjoying the show. Triple H.
Terrific.
Oh my gosh. It's just, I don't think that in this day and age, the starting the show and running it on tape works.
Yeah.
You have to do it live.
Yep.
And the other part is MJF has been off TV for a while.
Yeah.
They decided to bring him back on a taped show.
Yeah.
And so there's rumors out there that, again, I don't know how true they are because, it's dirt sheets at the end of the day, but that Tony didn't want anybody reporting on it in the major outlets in the United States. Then why bring MJF back on a taped show, Vince? Why would you do that?
How would they not report on it if it's a tape show? I don't get that at all.
Well, they do this thing of like holding off doing interviews, not giving people interviews. It's an interesting tactic because I've had to deal with it at Sirius where they're like, hey, kind of paraphrasing, if you don't make fun of us, then we'll bring people on your show.
Yeah.
Right. And I told that person, listen, we're here to pump you up, but also to be honest about what's going on. If it's a good match, awesome. Good show, awesome. We'll say that. But if it's not, we've got to be able to say that too. Otherwise, we have no credibility.
Coach,
Zero.
I can tell you as a fact, Violent J himself has contacted, big social media outlets, big podcasts, some big names, and he has basically asked them to review our show, and we don't care what you say about it. That's what he's done.
Interesting and smart. Interesting
Absolutely.
and smart.
Guys,
why is that so smart?
Because it's publicity. No pub is bad pub. No pub. And for Tony Khan to say, if somebody says a negative thing on our show, I'm not going to give you my talent. That's insanity. That is insanity. Coach, first week I wrote JCW. Who's out there ripping it to shreds? Good old James E. Cornette. I sent them a thank you. I said, Jim, 100,000 people watched you bashing me in JCW. Thank you. Please keep it up. Bash me every single week. Bro, no publicity is bad publicity.
And that's kind of where I wanted to go. So I'm so glad you went there because as I've had several videos in the last month or two go, I guess you call them viral, as the kids say, 800,000, 1 million views because of the content. And every time somebody goes, you're an idiot, I hate your take, I get more followers.
Yep.
And I think there's this misconception that negative or perceived negative is when people are criticizing you, that's not a negative, especially if they're people like you and I that have had years and years in the business. And I told the person that I was talking to who let me know that I have heat with Tony Khan. The reason? Because I said Britt Baker wanted to go to the WWE. That's it.
Yeah.
I said, is there more than that? Well, no, you've had a couple other stories. I said, was I wrong? No, you were dead on. I said, then why does he care about this?
Yeah.
Like this. And I brought up the examples. I was in the room when Vince McMahon set with Armakatayan from, I believe, 60 Minutes was the show at that point. We know that he sat down with Bob Costas, who hated Vince back in the 90s. Why? Because it got to a different audience. And I think people watching right now need to understand that in the wrestling business, what did Vince just say? Any publicity is good publicity if it's within, the right parameters. And for somebody to talk about JCW in any fashion, as you're growing and you're a growing brand, AEW, I don't think Tony Khan believes this, is in the exact same boat that you guys are in. A new company that's building.
That's exactly it, man. When you're in the spot AEW's in and you're number two, and listen, again, if we're going to be honest, Coach, they've been running in place for the last 5 years.
Sure they have.
And that's giving them the benefit of the doubt, running in place. Man, you've got to take every single piece of publicity you possibly can. Now, Coach, if you're making personal attacks on people, that's one thing. But we don't do that here. We're giving a critique. We're giving our opinion. And if that's going to keep you from putting talent on a show, I don't know what to say.
It's almost as if they do it in two different ways. So on WWE, it's kind of the way Triple H does it. With Tony, it's this way. And I think that whoever's in his ear and whoever's talking to him needs to make sure that he understands to be the biggest, but he's got so much money behind him that there's no consequence.
Yeah.
Him if they don't do well. I'll just go get another $1 billion from Dad. And when you have that, Vince didn't have that. Vince had to build it with his own money, owed his dad it was crazy. So I think for some reason, Tony feels like if I can control the narrative, I'm not financially in a bad spot. And that can't be the narrative because it can't be all about money. It's got to be about what's your legacy on this show going to be.
Yeah.
And if you want to build AEW, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Get it to a point where people want to watch it because they enjoy the product. And to do that, Vince, you've got to be out there so people know about your product because there's so much entertainment going on right now that I think some people believe you got to know who I am. And that is a death nail if you feel like everybody knows who you are.
Yeah, and guys, just again, go through your social media outlets and look how many AEW talents are out there doing interviews. Every time you see AEW being represented, I'm going to say 70% of the time it's Tony Khan. It's not his talent, it's Tony Khan. And Vince, Coach, he would have never done that. Get the talent out there. They can use the experience. Let them get familiar with the face. Get them over. You never see that with AEW talent.
No, they've in fact kind of gone the opposite way. I've seen more and more, like Kyle Fletcher was on Chris Van Vliet's this week, which is awesome to see. And I hope I see that more and more because in this world of pro wrestling, we want everybody to succeed because that helps JCW. That helps TNA. Unless you put your biggest star in a match for the NXT World Championship. That'll be a topic for next week as they have a PLE. Interesting decision. But coming up next, I've been holding this video the entire show. If you guys missed one, Vince Russo in the ring taking a direct shot. Well, we're going to play it for you next. Also, it is a birthday for one of the great superstars in the history of the business. Our favorite story about said superstar will come up next. I can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to our show, thank you so very much. This is the Coach and Bro Show. We are live every single Thursday right here on the Stadium Network. Plenty more to come on the other side. So come on back. All right, you degenerates. We continue on here on our YouTube page. So many Vince. You guys are amazing, all these super stickers. Let's get to Jeff. You will be on the Wheel of Doom here in just a little bit. Merry Christmas, fellas, and congratulations on the success of your show. Thank you very much. Question, what is it going to take to replace Triple H as head of creative, in our opinions, and how much longer as head of creative? Vince, you've had a timeline for the better part of the last year.
Yeah. I still think, I mean, listen, Rock was a wild card for a while. I think that Golden Globe is, I think they are so in Rock's rearview mirror right now, because the Golden Globe could mean an Academy Award. If he's nominated for an Academy Award, he's not worrying about, booking Gunther. There's no question about that.
That's hilarious.
Again, Coach, I'm with you with this 2-year selling to Saudi. I really think that's the window. I really believe that's the window. 2-year period. And hopefully, in Vince's mind and Saudi's mind, Vince will be clear. Vince will orchestrate the deal. And then Vince will be back in the saddle again.
I honestly believe the way the temperature is right now in the United States, that fans move on a lot quicker than what others might like. Yeah. And I think fans are like, you know what? That story is old news. I think it might be quicker than 2 years, where I think if he came back Monday on Raw, don't you think he'd get a pop?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely he would. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Brock was a big part of that situation.
Would Triple H introduce him? Can you imagine Triple H and doesn't leave the ring? He doesn't leave.
Oh my God! And then laughs in his ear, and then points to a video. Oh my God! Oh, Damian Gilchrist, just a quick one. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you guys. Stay safe, and congrats to your daughter. Coach.
Yes.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Yes. It was very emotional.
That's awesome.
It was really emotional. She was sobbing.
Oh, that's great.
She's worked so hard. I'm so damn proud of her. Really am. All right. We wrap things up, but remember, we'll still be live on YouTube at the top of the hour. We're back live on the Stadium Network in just 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. Coach and Bro Show here on Stadium, Amazon Prime, DirecTV, YouTube TV. Now, you guys know that my guy, Vince Russo, we're 1,000% behind him as a head of creative for JCW. Other than the fact I keep saying it, I'm begging to be a part of the show. He keeps saying no. That's not good for business. I got to respect it. Now, if you missed the latest episode of JCW, my guy got into the ring and delivered this promo.
And his name is Triple H. And guess what? Triple H used to be a wrestler. So what that means is Triple H has an agenda. Triple H likes some of the guys on the roster, doesn't like some of the guys on the roster, and it has an impact on the show he runs. Because if that's not the truth, then explain to me about Karrion Kross. Why is Karrion Kross no longer in the WWE? I'll tell you why. Because Triple H knew that Karrion Kross was going to be a bigger star than he was. Oh, now you're starting to listen. Oh, now you understand. And Karrion Kross, if you're listening, you are welcome here anytime with Scarlett.
Wow. With Scarlett.
Yes.
Vince, that had to feel pretty good.
I love the people because I'm going to tell you the rule of thumb. I love the people. Oh, why are you cutting a promo on the WWE? You should be worrying about your own company, this and that. BS. Coach, when you're number 2 or number 3 or number 4, you throw the kitchen sink at number 1. When
Yes.
you're number 1, number 2, 3, and 4 does not exist. And Vince, you're wrong about that. Do you remember a little thing called the DX invasion on WCW? You guys remember that when we were getting our butts kicked and we sent the tank to their bill? You guys
Legendary.
Yeah,
Legendary.
Do you remember the result of what eventually happened? Bro, when you are number 2, 3, 4, you throw the kitchen sink at number 1 because you're hoping that they acknowledge you. That's what you want them to do, is acknowledge you.
1,000%. But if we don't want to go back 25 years, Vince, we can go back less than 25 hours. Because last night on AEW Dynamite, MJF brought up the WWE multiple times. Because I think MJF is somewhat of a wrestling genius caught in a universe that doesn't have anybody to match him on the mic. And I think sometimes he gets bored. And then he'll go too far. He'll do something that's a little bit cringy because he doesn't have somebody to stand and go toe-to-toe with him because Chris Jericho hasn't been around for a minute. But Vince, last night they brought up WWE by name. It wasn't like a veiled reference. It was by name. And to me, that's exactly what you do. And if for some reason they get upset, then and we've been told this all week, you don't understand the wrestling business. I think we do, because I think we just saw it right there. Also, Vince, today is Stone Cold Steve Austin's birthday.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even know who you were talking about. Great hook. You had me guessing. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe because sometimes, and I'm sure you've gone through this, I think, man, I'm still 25 years old. Yeah. And then you see things like today. Stone Cold is 61 years old today.
Oh, God.
And everybody's like, man, let's have one more match. I guarantee you, he's not saying that. He's like, hell with that. But he, to me, is one of the most talented wrestlers of all time because he transitioned into podcast host, and he would host these game shows, Vince. I think he's one of the best game show hosts that we've ever seen on TV. I truly believe that. Do you have a favorite story from working with Stone Cold Steve Austin in his prime?
Yeah. And again, people forget. Listen, man, maybe Austin didn't have blockbusters, the Expendables. He made a lot of movies.
He made the best one of all of them. What was it called? Where they got dropped on an island and they had to kill each other?
Yeah.
It starts with a C. If anybody can help me out in the chat with that.
Yeah.
Vince, that was a great movie.
Yeah.
It was a great movie, but nobody ever talks about it.
Man, I remember that there came a time when Vince was really, really worried and concerned because Nash Bridges, they wanted to make Austin's character full time. Wow. And Austin wanted to do it. And I mean, there was a time there, like during his height, that Vince really thought he was going to lose Austin. So my point is, whatever Vince paid him to keep him, but Steve did have the opportunity to go on that show full time, so it could have happened.
He was great on that show. I loved Nash Bridges as well. Yeah. By the way, shout out to Sterling in the chat. It was The Condemned.
Condemned,
The Condemned. If you guys haven't seen that movie, go back and watch it. You'll find it's not, you don't think about a wrestler being in a movie. You just think about a really good movie, and he's a really great character in said movie. Remember, he was in The Longest Yard as well.
Yeah.
With Adam Sandler. So he had a lot of things. Obviously, I had a lot of run-ins. Everybody knows my story about when he walked out on me. We were supposed to wrestle on a pay-per-view. And I tell people all the time that you can't hold grudges. You can't. I don't hold it against him. Was I disappointed? Sure. Did I miss out on a payday? Yeah. I mean, I had to wrestle Batista instead. That's never a fun day at the office. But you move on. And I think what I took out of that is that Stone Cold, and I don't know if you agree with this, probably took his job as a pro wrestler, sports entertainer, more serious than anybody that I've ever worked with.
1,000%. How many times have you heard me and Coach say, talent's got to speak up. Talent's got to speak up. Talent's got to speak up. Steve didn't like the creative of his character. Steve left because his brand was the most important thing to him. He left. God knows how much money he left on the table. And we talk about that all the time, Coach.
4 or 5 times he walked out.
Yeah.
He didn't get fired. 4 or 5 times he walked out, and Vince brought him back in. I remember a lot of people would be sitting, and it was usually lesser talent that wasn't being used. How can he just walked out? How can we do that? What was Vince's number one thing above all else when it came to talent?
Go ahead.
If you're over and you can make me money, you're going to have a spot here all the time. Yeah. And nobody made more money for the company. That's fact than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Without
Period,
a shadow of a
point
doubt.
blank, end of story.
We were even talking about on my show, like one of my shows this week. Coach, honestly, when's the last time you saw a wrestling T-shirt out in public?
For me, not very often, but I live in Orange County, so
I listen, man. Austin 316, NWO.
Everywhere.
That's how you knew we were part of pop culture. If you go out and look for one wrestling T-shirt on somebody outside of a wrestling event, you ain't gonna find one, man. That tells you everything you need to know.
I'll never forget the day that they came out with the F Fear shirt, the F-U-C-K. I won't even say it here on the air. And the U was the skull and crossbones.
Yeah.
And that's how they got away with it. So they weren't technically selling a shirt that said that. And I remember sitting in my room with my crew, and I was looking at, I said, guys, they're like, yeah, we see the same thing. It turned out to be like the biggest seller of all time.
Yeah, man.
And you saw it on TV. I was like, this is before you could swear on TV. Now it's commonplace. But to see all of those shirts with the F word on it. Absolutely.
And what did Austin do? Every time there was new merch, he wore it on the show. Every single time.
Show.
Yes.
All right, we only got 45 seconds. Give me 15. What do we got, JCW, this week?
Yeah, tonight, guys, brand new show, man. Every Thursday night, 7 o'clock Eastern on JCW. I will be in the chat room so you could talk to me throughout the entire duration of the show.
And you can learn, and become a better fan, a more educated fan. For those of you on YouTube, we continue on past the top of the hour. For those of you on Stadium, we will be back in probably 3 weeks because you got Christmas, then you got the New Year's. But, of course, follow us on social media, and we'll update all of our start times and our content. We love you guys so very much. Happy holidays. This has been the Coach and Bro Show right here, live on Stadium. All right, we got plenty more to come. A lot of super stickers to get to. And if you guys have any more, you still have time. Anything's $10 or more, we'll get on the Wheel of Doom. And you know what? I am feeling in the giving mood. We're going to do 2 today.
Whoa!
2 today. We're going to have 2 winners. I didn't even ask the producer man if that's possible. But I want to do 2 Wheels of Doom. Okay. So let's get to where do we leave off? Producer man says it is possible, so we can't do that.
Let me just throw this up there free of charge. Free of charge.
Okay.
Insane disco moves. Coach, you're so good at running a show. I just wanted to point that out to the coach.
Thank you.
Best.
Thank you.
Best at what he does, the coach.
Thank you. I try. Yes. I actually take that part very seriously, so that actually means a lot to me.
Yes.
I believe there's ways of doing it great, and most people aren't that. So Thank you. Tyler Balmer, you're on the Wheel of Doom. I don't mind the ideas from creative, but the writing is atrocious. They didn't build up the show to Gunther's promo. No direction of what's next for him. Where are the cliffhangers? This is what we're talking about, Vince, is I'm all in if they follow up. I'm all in if you give me a build-up to Saturday night's main event. There was nothing, and then we're supposed to believe and take that, this is the way it's done. You're going to build up a gigantic heel. It's poetic. If I read one more tweet, Vince, about how poetic it was, I'm going to throw up.
Tyler, you want to see a cliffhanger? 7 o'clock tonight, JCW. Coach, tonight's cliffhanger is going to blow some people's socks off.
No, I'm laughing because it's actually a cliffhanger, and that's how you promote a show. You're promoting your own show.
You know what's so funny about that, Coach? It's the easiest thing to do. That's what I don't understand. I get to the end of every show. Okay, Vince, what's your cliffhanger? It's the easiest thing to do. I don't understand it, man.
But Vince, Monday night, we had a main event that was you're right. You're right. It's the easiest thing to forget about on some shows.
Oh, it's so easy to do.
Right back to Tyler. You might be our MVP today. We're going to start that after the first of the year, too. I'll have more details on that coming up. Am I crazy, or should they have ended the show asking why Austin Theory is the masked man rather than Punk getting speared? What would you have written, Vince?
Austin Theory would not have been the masked man, so don't ask me that. He would not have even probably been in my top 10 choices, Coach.
Wow.
But again, let's just use this for argument's sake. If it's going to be Austin Theory, then build Austin Theory the last 10 weeks.
Instead of making him a masked man, or
exactly. Or you could have done the masked man thing, but you had to make him worth something again.
By the way, I stole some stuff from you that I didn't even tell you, so I apologize. You don't even know that I did it. But on my serious show, I bring you up all the time. And I brought up how...
That's going to get you fired. That's going to get you fired real quick, Coach. Don't say I didn't warn you, but go ahead.
So anyway, I brought up how none of the baby faces even cared if they lost at Survivor Series based off of the masked man. And I said, if you want to give them the rub and build up Austin Theory quicker than what you've been doing, you've got to make the baby faces upset and have them show up looking for the masked man.
Absolutely.
I stole it. Are you okay if I stole that from you?
Coach, that's a no-brainer. Like that can anybody in this chat room would have said the same exact thing. How did these guys not show up looking to kill somebody?
And they still haven't.
No,
they still haven't.
Roman Reigns hasn't been on the show since, I don't think.
No, and Cody has been on SmackDown.
Right.
So they haven't been together. And then I think, to Tyler's point, is they thought, well, the masked man, his association with the Vision, we spear him, it gives the rub to Braun Breaker, and then we see that shot of Austin Theory basically in the crowd. I think that's creatively what they thought. But to me, it's another example of overthinking it.
Yeah.
Instead of just giving us what we need and what we want.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Harley Henning. Coach, agree with you on the Cena ending, even though the crew had busted open, saying the opposite. Bully is usually spot on, but I agree with you. I've been arguing with my guys at Busted Open all week about this because I said, what did it hurt? Well, that's not the way it's done. I said, no. I said, I want, and I've been demanding, Vince, give me, because this is what we do here, give me a fix. Give me a reason why that would have hurt the business. Well, you wouldn't have built up Gunther without that. I said they had 8 months to do that, and they didn't do it.
Yep.
So you want to tell me that this is the point? That's where I stand on it, Vince, and there's millions of people that feel that way.
Yeah. Well, you already saw that on Monday night because they didn't know what to do with him. So he came, he cut his promo, he left. That whole show should have been around Gunther. What
would you have done with him on Monday?
I would have probably had him gloat about it, had a close friend of Cena's take objection to that, get into a verbal altercation that would have later on led into a fight, and let him do the gimmick all over again to reinforce, to come out and cut a promo, get in your car and leave. That tells me we don't know what to do with him. That's what it tells me.
There were some other people that were like, oh, less is more with Gunther.
Oh, please. Come on, man. Please. Bro, they even could have used, what's his name? Who was his old sidekick who's so freaking talented?
Oh my gosh. He hasn't been on. He's
they could have used him.
Was the mask.
That would have been awesome, man.
Ludwig Kaiser.
Ludwig could have went out there and congratulated him, and Gunther could have dissed him and cut a promo on him and got heat on him and have a little match at the end of the night. Come on. We're talking about that off the top of our heads. They're discussing this all week long.
It's crazy. And I think back to when we had Red Hot Raws when you and I were there. And the biggest stars, when you're asking people to tune in for 2.5 hours, when that person leaves on camera and you know he's not coming back 6 minutes into the show.
Coach, can I tell you something?
Of course.
I made that mistake one time.
Tell me.
One time I had Austin leave the building early, one time, and the ratings went in the toilet. And one time I made that mistake, and then I'm like, here's where you effed up. That can never happen again.
I don't know that they care. I really don't know, or if they even think about it. That's the question. Yeah. Harley Henning, producer man, I'm feeling in a generous mood today. He's giving us $5. Let's put him on the wheel of doom. That's $10 total. Yeah, I am. I'm in a very giving mood today.
Wow.
I can barely watch Raw or SmackDown anymore. Boring, not creative. Been a 40-year fan of wrestling. Thought Vince was bad. I owe him an apology.
You're hearing a lot of that now. You're starting to hear a lot of that now. They're talking about Vince McMahon. You're starting to hear that. No, bro, you're starting to hear that a lot, Coach.
That's why I told you. I think it's faster than 2 years.
Yeah.
I think they would welcome him back today.
Yeah. You're starting to hear that a lot. Vince wasn't so bad, was he?
Very interesting. Also, if Vince came back, you'd start seeing house shows again. And then the work rate would be better. It's all a trickle-down effect.
Yes.
And all you guys, there wouldn't be $800 house show tickets to buy.
Yeah.
You could get in for $100, and house shows are a lot more fun than TV anyway.
Yeah.
Trust me. Kaylin Jingles, Russo, you on Vlad would be fire. Vlad TV. You got to get your people to get you on the show. I don't know Vlad TV.
I don't know Vlad TV either. No, interesting.
I don't know, but hey. Let's find out what that is. And guess what? Kaylin Jingles, you gave us $5. And guys, don't make a habit of this because I know you want to get two things read. Today's the only day. Triple H booking is bad right now. It really is. But let's not forget the Vince KM last 10 years. Senile era was awful too. What is the real solution?
Hey, can we address that for a second?
Sure.
Okay. And we were saying Vince is going senile, but at least the dude had an excuse. I mean, you know what I'm saying, Coach? At least we knew Vince wasn't as sharp as he once was.
Clearly. And he's in his 70s. He's 80 now.
Yeah.
I think we forget that.
Yes.
You know, Stone Cold's 61.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I think doing this show for you and I especially, it keeps me young. It keeps my mind sharp.
Yeah.
I think the more we do, and for Vince, I've got to believe he's going crazy right now.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%.
Right?
Agree 1,000%. Yeah.
I think that he's probably, Vince, consumed every minute of the day with how do I get back in?
Yeah.
Because money right now means nothing to him. He's got more than he'll ever need or his family will ever need. My guess is he's cut them out anyway. Maybe not Shane. But when this is your legacy, and I'll never forget, Vince, we were flying on his private jet one time, and it was just kind of like the four of us. We were going to a press conference or something, so it wasn't a full plane. So I remember asking him, I said, Vince, why do you go to all this stuff? Like, why are you on this plane right now going to a press conference in Kansas City? And I said, you got all the money in the world. And he looked at me as serious as he could be, Vince, and he said, Coach, every single day that you get out of bed, you got to have purpose. If your purpose is money, that's going to be an issue. If your purpose is something that you've built, then the money will follow.
Yeah.
And I've always carried that with me.
Yeah.
And that's why I say his purpose was this company, Vince.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how, I mean, he was insane about building this to the ultimate success. And now that I don't think he would consider it a success because of the money. I really don't.
Yeah,
do you?
I agree. No, I agree 1,000%. I mean, we're not going to argue. Great deals have been made. They've got great salesmen. They've got great horses and ponies. No question about it. But it's two completely different things.
No doubt about it. He would never equate money with.
No.
The only time he would even brag about a new deal was to make it look like we were getting bigger audiences because of that.
And the only time he really did it, Coach, was with WCW because that was a victory. That
Victory.
was a win. That was a huge win for him. That had nothing to do with money. It was a win.
And I want you wrestling fans to do us a favor here at Coach and Bro. Don't go on Twitter and say, well, it's because of the money. Or don't go on Twitter and say anybody would do it. Let's separate and then see what your opinion would be without the money involved. I think it would change just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, we've got another person on the Wheel of Doom. B Rider 1 says, great show as always. I know this is a wrestling show, but had a boxing question. It's fine. What are you guys' thoughts on the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua fight tomorrow? Will you watch? Keep up the good work. B Rider, thank you. Spread the word. I will be watching on Friday night. And I don't know if you saw the last face-off, Vince, yesterday, but Anthony Joshua is 6'5". Jake Paul is 5'11". It looks like a gigantic human being against a high schooler. And I seriously question his thought process going in against this guy. I fear for his well-being. I really, really do.
Jake
I think
Paul,
it can be dangerous. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah.
We're talking about a guy who knocked out Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou has the hardest punch ever registered in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Wow.
And Anthony Joshua put him on his back.
Wow. Wow.
And Jake Paul's he was supposed to fight Gervonta Davis tomorrow. Gervonta Davis fights around 150 pounds. That's his weight class. Anthony Joshua is 250, 260.
Oh, my God.
He's a former heavyweight champion of the world.
Yeah.
And it's going to be probably – so the Mike Tyson got 60 million views on Netflix when Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson. And everybody knows that it was like a pro wrestling match.
Yeah.
It was always going to go 8 – it was the accusations. But this one, Anthony Joshua has a Tyson Fury $40 to $50 million fight on the horizon. So, Vince, he cannot afford to carry Jake Paul for 8 rounds and let him hang in.
Yeah.
There it is.
Wow.
Right there.
That is a huge difference. So this is on Netflix?
It's on Netflix. Yeah. It's
on
Netflix.
Okay. Then you got me interested now.
There you go. And this is why Netflix is buying in. Say what you want about Jake Paul. You see that MVP behind him on the background?
Yeah.
He's an incredible marketer.
Yeah. Oh,
He's incredible.
Yeah.
He's turned all these YouTube fights into mega money, and he doesn't keep it all for himself, Vince. He has provided the 2 highest purses ever in the history of boxing to females on his undercard.
That is awesome. Good for him, man. That is awesome. Yeah.
So, and this takes balls. This takes balls. But Friday night, yes, we will be watching. Thank you, B Rider. Team Q says, Coach has the fairest show on Sirius. Tony Khan is opening IP more with public speaking, i.e., Ariel Helwani show. Ricky from Orlando, happy holidays, bro. I like to think so. We had a lady call in the other day, Vince, to my show, and she said, it was great. Coach, the reason I love you is you just shoot straight with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, we're getting the black women from the South to listen to the show. I want everybody listening to the show. But you can't do it if I'm not always positive. I get that. But I hate the word negative.
Yeah.
I just give my take on stuff that's good or bad, just like we do here. Nothing else. That's why we're growing.
Yeah, I got to tell you something, Coach, and I think you would have really, really loved this. Guys, I watched the Tony Ariel 2 times, maybe even 3 times. And this is where I have such a problem with Tony. And then I'm going to tell you what happened this past week, Coach. You'll get a kick out of this.
Okay.
When you hear any Tony Khan interview, I cannot, bro, literally, it's got to be close to 100 times. AEW is great. The matches are great. The pay-per-view is going to be great. This is great. AEW is great. Dynamite is great. Collision, 1,000,000 times. I did RVD show with Violent J the other night.
I saw it. Yeah.
Did you hear what Violent J say? Here's what Violent J said.
Okay.
Watch JCW Lunacy. Watch 2 shows. If we put our money where our mouth is and you enjoy it, continue watching it. If you don't, stop watching it. That's putting your money where your mouth is. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how great JCW is. Watch the show. I believe it's great. I believe you will too. But watch the show. But Tony is, this is great and that is great and everything is so great. And I'm always like, Tony, if it's this great, then why aren't 5 million people watching this show?
That's such a great take. And I think I want him to watch this and listen and help, because he does not have a team around him that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
That is obvious. And maybe he doesn't want it, but he's such a nice guy, and maybe too nice for the wrestling business. That could be true, but he loves the wrestling business. So I believe if he had the right people around him, he could build this thing into an absolute juggernaut.
Yeah.
But Vince, there's several examples of why he needs help. When you post a 27-minute video 3 weeks ago, in front of like the worst background ever, and then 3 hours later you post another video and whoever's shooting it doesn't clip off the okay, count me in.
Yeah.
Got it? Okay. And it's the same background. It's those little things that when you're the CEO, they matter. You want to always look like you're in charge. And to not do that, and then the other part that drives me insane, you know, when he does this, Vince, like Ariel asked, he'll be like, is Chris Jericho's contract running out? He was asked that, paraphrasing. And he said, I love Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho's always been a big part of what we do here at AEW. Chris Jericho's a great guy. What a legend. That's not the question.
Yeah.
He will not answer direct questions, and he just puts everybody over. That's what that 27-minute video was about. He went down every match on the card talking about how great that person was.
And he does that every time. Every show he's on, that's what he does. And it's like, bro, the more you hype it up, the more you're building me up to be disappointed. The hook should be, we're giving the wrestling fan everything we possibly can. We're putting our money where our mouth is. Watch the show. We just asked you to give us the opportunity. Watch the show.
I wish he would. I hope that somebody clipped off our last show and showed it to him when you talked about doing the research and how you looked at the research, and the highest parts of the show are like the backstage fun
1,000%,
right?
Yes.
Because that company is what? It's where the best wrestle. That company is, they don't have a lot of nicknames. And to me, if you're going to be entertaining, like I've never been Jonathan Coachman. That's boring.
Yeah.
But the coach.
And
coach
what and what did Michael Cole just declare?
Pro wrestling, sports entertainment.
I'd love to show Michael Cole my graph.
Mason-VL6RI. It's ridiculous that they put Jesse Ventura on the pre-show, put Stephanie in his spot. I liked when he reluctantly admitted Hogan is on his Mount Rushmore. I thought it was fascinating that they didn't just pay him to stay home, because he was contracted for all 4 of the main events this year.
Yeah.
And I also thought it was a little weird that Stephanie was in that spot with Joe Tessitore. It's like they were the host of the night, and they would always go back to them in between every matches. I don't think she was horrible. I thought she was serviceable, but it's always got to be tied back to Triple H. She's his wife. She has 2 shows already.
I have to ask this question with the response he got at the Saturday night's main event. Man, I just have a feeling I think we're very close to a on-air role.
I do too. I hope it works.
Yeah.
Because we've seen so much of the regular Paul Levesque. It's kind of what Seth Rollins was talking about. Would he be believable in a role where he has to, because we always see the finger of doom, finger point of doom.
Yeah.
And would he, because Vince's character was, you're fired, or you're going to do this, or when I got screwed over and had to be in a tables match with John Cena. That's what the role should be, a heel.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that'd be believable, because we all know that he wants to be put over in every spot.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Then you're gonna see the unreal with the head on the head and the hands on the shoulders. Yeah, that could be a real conflict of interest.
Oh my
I
God.
hear you. I don't know if we could make that work, Coach.
I don't know. But I would say this, that I think it would be a welcome change from
Oh, I agree with that. I swear, because people were saying this. If you put Stephanie and Triple H out there next week, it would 1,000% be a better show.
100%.
Well,
100%.
1,000%, no doubt about it, it would be a better show.
I think right now that because there's no part of me that wants to go back and be a GM or anything like that, but I would do it if the right opportunity came along, simply because I think I'm better than all of them.
Yeah.
And you've got to be able to go out there and make it believable, be a little bit athletic. And right now, I'm kind of over the Adam Pearce has any authority on the show whatsoever. And I've always thought that having that role is really important in a wrestling show. Over there at JCW, how do you feel about roles like that? Because I know right now you're the investor and the writer, but kind of you're in a similar role.
Yeah, and also I have a showrunner. I'm the money guy, and I have somebody run the show, which is the commissioner, but it's a showrunner. That's why I said, Coach, man, if you're going to bring Chris Jericho over for anything, that's what it should be. I would put him on both shows as the showrunner and let Jericho just be Jericho. Those shows would improve by leaps and bounds overnight.
Because he knows how to do it.
Yes.
He knows how to be a asshole heel, but also a babyface. I think, when he did the list thing, that was some of the most entertaining television I've watched in the last 20 years.
I agree. 1,000%. Yep.
But the question is, what do you always say? What did you say in the promo we ran earlier? That Triple H doesn't want a talent to be bigger than he is, or the perception that they are bigger than he is. And I think if you brought Chris Jericho over in that role, that very quickly there would be the perception that Jericho is a bigger star than Triple H. And I'm quite sure that he would remind everybody that he beat, was it Rock, Stone Cold, or Triple H and Rock? He beat two of them in the same night. I'd be using that till the end of time. Till the end of time. All right. I think that is all of the super stickers. We missed one. We got to get one because we don't want to miss anybody. Some guy. What's up, Coach? What's up, Mr. Russo? What happens to WWE if it gets sold to Saudi? In the short term, it's already atrocious. I think Vince would get better because Saudi would spend the money to make the show great. TKO is trying to pay off $5 billion in debt. So there's no fireworks. There's none of the extra stuff.
That's a great point, Coach.
Don't you think that part of the reason they don't do off-site shoots is cost?
Yeah,
they don't want to spend the money.
And it would be a huge deal to Saudi. So they're going to put everything they possibly can to kind of draw other entertainment sports, entities to them. I mean, I agree with you on that. I agree with you.
They will take a loss, guys, in order to make this work financially. Because there are, the last time I checked, 5 or 6, because I work in the world of golf too, as you guys know. Live Golf has not turned a profit, not close, ever. And they have spent billions so far in the first 4 years. Billions. They just spent $55 billion, Vince, buying EA Sports, which makes Madden, the video game I was in for the last 8 years. They just, I don't know if you saw the video, but Randy Orton, Liv, Omus, I think that's his name. They were all over in Saudi this last week. They went to Six Flags, which is a new amusement park in Saudi that opens the end of this month. My point is there's a lot of things that they want people to come and do. They want to be a destination. They are willing to play the long game and spend the money, which is something TKO is not willing to do.
Yep, agreed. Yep.
So I think it'd be better. I really, really do.
Yeah, I agree.
We have one more, Sam Murray. So they keep coming in. You guys are absolutely amazing. We love you so much. Do you think Triple H is a sociopath? Vince, peep the profile pic, #Breaking Bad.
Very nice.
I don't
Hey,
know that he's a sociopath.
did you watch Breaking Bad, Coach?
I loved it.
Oh, what
Loved it.
you talk about writing and story and
Wow.
characters. Oh, come on.
I almost have. It's almost been long enough that I could go back and watch the whole thing again.
I just did that. I just did that.
Did you really?
About a month ago. I just did that. Yes.
Man,
Yes.
I think it's arguably the greatest series of all time.
You know what? I just went back and finished up yesterday. I rewatched Eastbound and Down.
Oh, Eastbound and Down.
Kenny Powers. Is that not the greatest character of all time?
Of
Kenny
all time.
Powers, man.
Of all time. I got to put that on my. I keep a list of binging shows.
Yeah.
Because next year, I think I have at least 20 trips next year for golf, for fighting. I have a feeling this show we're going to do a couple of live shows. This is my gut. I think we're going to do a couple of live shows.
Saudi?
Hey Vince, if they pay us, you're damn right.
Hey,
I would be lying to say we wouldn't go there.
Let me tell you something. If anybody could make that happen, it's you. If anybody can make that happen, man.
We'll see what happens. One more. Delano Dave. Couldn't agree more with Russo. Beginning of the end for trips. It's amazing, Vince, and we'll wrap up the show with this, and then we'll do the Wheel of Doom, that we've been doing this now for just 14 months. 15 months. We're a baby in show years. And during that time, we've been steadfast in this one thing. And I would have thought at some point there would be something that would have happened to change our minds just a little bit. But there hasn't been. It's almost like they have blinders on and they're willing to say whatever we give you is great because we think it is. Yeah. And that can be just a nail in the coffin if you don't listen to your fan base.
Yeah, 1,000%. And Coach, here's the thing: you always know in crime and everything, you always hear, "Follow the money, follow the money, follow the money." Guys, in wrestling, and this is what I think Coach and I have done from day one: follow the logic. Yep. Just follow the logic, man. Just sit back and observe what's happening, and you start to see patterns. Like you said, Coach, you really want us to believe now this is going to be the Gunther run. After what you've showed us, that's what we're talking about, guys. We just go by patterns and follow the logic, man.
That's it. And if we're wrong, awesome.
Right.
We would love to be wrong.
Yep.
We would.
Yep.
But I'm not willing to say this and then go, yep, no, this is what we believe. And then because of what's happened.
That's it.
All right. This is my favorite time of the week. This is where we get to give something back to you. By the way, we had to change a couple of people. So we've got some new merch coming after the first of the year. But we still have Bambi Pambi. We still have I Bet on Wrestling. So there's several options for you. Here's what we do. It's called the Wheel of Doom. And wow, look at all those names.
We got a loaded wheel.
Example. Yeah, we've shipped one all the way to Australia. So it doesn't matter where you live. We'll get it to you. We're going to give you the email. We're going to do two times because we're in the Christmas spirit.
Yes.
So,
and also let's say, Coach, we're doing it 2 times.
Yes.
To honor your daughter. Well, how about that? What an accomplishment. How about that, Coach?
Thank you. It means a lot. All right, I'll take it. All right, this one is we call her KK. This is for KK. There it is. So, number 1, Vince, this is your job. Go.
Producer man, spin the wheel.
Let's go. Who's going to be the winner today? First of 2. Oh, very, very exciting. I love the Wheel of Doom. Who is it? Oh, I think that's a new one. Angel 1987. Okay.
Paisan, yes, very nice.
So there is the email. So all you need to do, Angel Lucia, is send an email to Producer Man. He'll respond. We'll get all your information free of charge. You don't have to pay anything. We love that you watch the show and that you provided a very important super sticker, which helps our show grow. So thank you very much. All right, let's take it all down and let's do it one more time. Who will be our second winner of the day? What if it's Angel Lucia again? All right, who is it? Another new name, Dominic to go, 1513. All right, Dominic, there is the email and a reminder. The only rule we have is you got to be watching live. Don't send me a tweet. Don't send me a DM saying, Coach, I heard I won. No, you got to be watching live Mondays and Thursdays, and then we do it all on Thursday after the show. Vince, from where we were the first Wheel of Doom to this,
I know, crazy,
it's amazing.
Man. And not only that, too, I just want to put out, like, the questions are great, Coach. I love the questions they ask, man.
I think they know now that when they come here, they're going to be able to ask really smart questions and hear really smart discussion on the pro wrestling business. And not break down every single segment on Raw or SmackDown, which is just boring. I do want to say this, that as we head into the Christmas holidays, that we are coming off our highest viewed episode ever in the history of our show on Monday. And I think that speaks to a lot. But Vince, I love working with you. I love being a part of this brand. I love what we're going to be doing all of next year. And I love everybody at home that has made this something that we can really build on for 2026. So Merry Christmas to everybody here in our universe. Vince, anything you'd like to say to those? We might be here on Monday. I don't know, but
I do want to say this, guys. We do not take one of you for granted. Not one. When Coach and I do this show, every show, and listen, man, Coach is loaded with show after show after show. Nothing is ever going to get phoned in here, guys. Every time we do this show, we don't take you for granted. And I just want them to know that, because that's the truth, man. You do a lot, Coach. I do a lot. But when we come on this show, bro, you're going to get 110% every time.
Always, always, always. We love this so much. And we talk about it off the air a lot, that just kind of fate brought us together. And we never planned on doing a show, ever. And then now we've become great friends, but also professionally, we help each other in a lot of different ways, not just here on the show. And that's so, so important to me. And I would encourage all of you, value your relationships professionally and privately, because they can become something very, very special. They really, really can. All right, that's going to do it for us. Vince, you're the man. Good luck this week. Happy traveling.
We'll
be watching all of your JCW shows. And maybe someday I could be a part of it. You never know. That's going to do it for now. For my man, Vince Russo, for producer man and Mikey P behind the scenes, I am the Coach. Happy holidays. Subscribe to both of our YouTube channels, because remember, we got Coach and Company at 10 a.m. Eastern every single day as well. I am the Coach. That's going to do it for now. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time right here on the Coach and Bro Show.